Mlc Tv News Hour. I'm Khadijat Mohammed. The headlines. Get your PVC to elect credible leaders, says Khalifa Muhammad Sanusi Lamido II. KOGI government bans OKADA TRICYCLE from plying highway. And United Nations mission launches political transition talks in Sudan. Now the news in detail. President Muhammadu Buhari has said that the fight against insecurity challenges in the country needs divine intervention. The president stated this at the National Special Prayer Session organized by the Kano State Government for peace and stability in the country. The special prayer session was led by the world leader of the Tijaniya movement from Algeria, Sidi Sharif Ali ibn Arabi, grandson to the founder of the Tijaniya Muslim sect, Sheikh Ahmad Tijani. Buhari, represented by Minister of State for Agriculture and Rural Development, Mustafa Baba Shehuri, said the divine intervention is to complement the efforts by the security agencies to overcome the menace. He further said the federal government is not relenting in its support of the security personnel in its bid to bring the insecurity to an end. Buhari also commended the Kano State Governor, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, for taking the giant spiritual commitment towards making Nigeria peaceful. Kano State Governor Ganduje expressed the state government's readiness to annually invite world Islamic leaders and organize prayers for peace and stability in the country. Ganduje said the prayer is needed to seek divine intervention and for God to grant the security agencies more strength and strategies to resolve the insecurity facing the country. Vice President Professor Yemi Osinbajo has called on Nigerians to take a stand and challenge evil as a mark of honor for the fallen heroes. Osinbajo made the charge while speaking at the interdenominational church service held at the National Christian Center, Abuja, as part of activities to mark the 2022 Armed Forces Remembrance Day. Represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Osinbajo extolled the sacrificial courage of the men who laid down their lives to protect the territorial integrity of the nation. He said the current administration prioritizes the welfare of officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, commended the federal government's commitment to the welfare of troops on the battlefront. He expressed hope that as the economy is picking up, more will be done to step up their welfare. Irabo called on Nigerians to continue to support the efforts of the armed forces in confronting terrorism in the northeast and other security challenges in other parts of the country. KOGI State Governor Yahya Bello has received commendation from great Muslim Sheikh and Khalifa for hosting the conference and for accepting their request for the provision of land in the state to build an international Islamic center to honor Sheikh Ibrahim Niasse. The commendation was given by Grand Khalifa Sheikh Muhammad Mahi, son of Ibrahim Niasse, and Khalifa Muhammad Sanusi II, and 14th Empire of Fulani, Kanu, during the last day of a 3-day fourth Nigeria World Maulid anniversary in Lokoja, KOGI State Old Stadium. Dignitaries on the occasion were ambassadors of Morocco, Palestine, Mauritania, Cameroon, and representative of Senegal. Other diplomats, traditional rulers, and other dignitaries across the 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. Our reporter Fatima Yacob has more.
3 days of impactful worship and prayers of all Jamaatul Tijaniya who converged on the city of Lokoja was described as a blessing to the state and the nation as the Grand Khalifa, the President General Jamiatul Ansarudeen Tijaniya worldwide. Sheikh Muhammad Mahi Ibrahim Niasse visited, prayed and proclaimed peace upon the state. Muslim faithfuls around the world were also told to deviate from perpetrating all forms of evil activities and return to the teachings of the Quran for the mercy of Allah. Before the noon session that took place at the Old Stadium was a get-together at the Riverton Hotel Hall, where spiritual words of motivation were taught.
Our Khulafa, our parents, our grandparents received him and owed him allegiance, and we will defend that to the best of our ability, as you will hear from the words of Sheikh Sharif Saleh. And the third is that we should all make the effort to study and learn the deen.
Muslim scholars call for peaceful coexistence and need to pray for leaders. During this session at Old Lokoja Stadium, Sheikh Muhammad Lamin said the need to deviate from all forms of evil vices by all and sundry has become necessary, saying that the present situation confronting the world was caused by humanity, hence the need for Muslims to turn back to Allah. He challenged Muslims to emulate the lifestyle of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, adhere to all his deeds and coexist peacefully with one another for a better nation. He prayed for President Muhammad Buhari, the state governor, Yahya Bello, and the entire country. The Khalifa Muhammad Sanusi II has advised Muslim faithful to preserve the unity of the movement, saying that At-Tijaniyya was built on Quran and Hadith, sincerity and fear of Allah. He further stressed the need to continue to promote peace, pray, and eschew extremism, saying no matter the difficult situation, Allah will be able to see the country through.
Is to remember, as Maulana Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Saleh said, that this tariqah is not a new religion. This tariqah is not a sect. Tasawwuf is about purification of the soul. It's about improving our personal relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and our relationship with other human beings. We are a people of peace. We are a people who are not arrogant, but who protect our dignity. We must continue to promote peace. We must continue to eschew extremism. We must continue to pray, because no matter how dark the clouds are, no matter how difficult the situation is, we know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said to us, Ud'uni astajib lakum.
Elected Kogi State Governor Yahya Bello described the conference as a historic day for him and the people of Kogi State. He maintained that he had learned a lot from the gathering, great messages of unity, love and hard work, peace, tolerance, and taking our destinies into our hands, which remains the message of President Muhammad Buhari.
You are encountered with happiness and joy. According to my mother of blessed memory, Hajia Hawa Bello, she said, don't overrejoice. If anything adversity happens to you, don't over-antagonize. Learn from both scenarios. Today, I am overjoyed. Today, I am so happy that I don't know where my happiness will start and stop. However, today I have learned a lot from this gathering. And that is the message that our Khalifa, our eminence, our spiritual eminence, and our leader, our Khalifa, has brought to us here today. And that is the message of peace, the message of unity, the message of hard work, and the message of we that have the numbers taking our destinies in our hands. These are great messages. And these messages are not far from the message of my dear loved one, President Muhammadu Buhari.
He appreciated Sheikh Muhammad Ibrahim Lamin for the gift of Holy Quran presented to him and his prayers for him to end well as the governor of Kogi State, as well as fulfilling his ambitions.
Allah Ta'ala, I will continue to govern, I will continue to lead, I will continue to superintend over the affairs of Kogi State with the fear of Almighty Allah, with fairness, equity, and justice.
The highlight of the occasion was the Islamic and Quranic recitations.
والمدينة التي ضمت المئات من أولياء الله الصالحين في ذراها إلى كون خندار لبرهام من غدا.
It was in a record, according to the governor, that after 53 years of the visit of Sheikh Ibrahim Niasse to the state was the visit of the son, Grand Khalifa Sheikh Muhammad Mahi. I am Fatima Yaqub reporting for Mlc Tv.
The Khalifa Muhammad Sanusi II and the 14th Empire of Fulani of Kano and the President General Jamiyatul Ansaruddin at Tijaniya, Nigeria, has advised eligible voters in Nigeria to register and get their PVC to elect credible leaders in power in all elections. Sanusi made the call in Lokoja at the last day of the 3-day annual conference of the 4th Nigeria World Maulid Anniversary in honor of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, with the theme, The Prophetic Solutions to the Questions of Humanity.
We are not a political party, but we cannot fold our arms and ignore politics. Every member of Tijaniya who is 18 years old and above, male or female, go out and get a voter's card. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allaha ya'murukum an tu'addul amanata ila ahliha. Allah commands you that you place trust in the hands of those who are capable of holding that trust. And we are at a time where those who appoint leaders are the people. Your voter's card is an amana. You have a responsibility, and I'm not saying, I've said this yesterday, just to avoid any misunderstanding. I am not saying you must vote for a member of Tijaniya. I'm not saying you must vote for a Muslim. I am not saying you should vote for a member of any political party. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, Inna khayra man ista'ajarta al-qawiyyul amin.
He also called on the Muslim faithful to look beyond riches to build infrastructure that will have a direct positive bearing on the people.
It is time for us in Tijaniya to do things for ourselves. And this should be the same everywhere. We should have universities. We should have hospitals. We should have primary schools. We should have secondary schools. Because if our children get educated, we improve literacy rate in the entire country. If our youth get employed, we improve the economy of the entire country.
Khalifa Muhammad Sanusi II advised members of the Tijaniya to continue to love one another, Thousands of Muslim faithful were present to honor the birth of Prophet Muhammad and the leader, Grand Khalifa Sheikh Muhammad Mahi, the son of the Most Reverend Sheikh Ibrahim Niyaz. Prayers were rendered for the leaders, state and Nigeria at large. Governor Yahya Bello has been commended for giving an approval and implementation of 100% payment of consolidation health salary structure for nurses and midwives in the state. The state branch chairman of the National Association of Nigerian Nurses and Midwives, Nuhu Omuya Momo, gave the commendation while speaking with newsmen in Lokoja. Omuya explained that the approval has normalized the salaries of nurses in the Health Management Board, Ministry of Health, Specialist Hospital, adding that the gap between the teaching hospital and specialist hospital in the salary disparity has been bridged. He maintained that with the recent approval, it has greatly improved on the performance of nurses in the health sector. Expressed delight that the governor has a listening ear. The chairman promised that the nurses across the state would continue to support his political activities from governor to presidential ambition in 2023, pointing out that the association is looking forward to pay him a visit to thank him for his magnanimity in the delivery of healthcare services to the people. Omuya also commended the governor for the ongoing construction of flyover at Ganaja Junction, which he noted would reduce traffic congestion in the area. He disclosed that the ongoing construction of world-class hospital at Okene and other health institutions across the state was second to none in Africa, promised to continue to give his maximum support in the years ahead. Kogi State Ministry of Transportation has banned commercial tricycle and motorcycle, popularly known as OKADA, operators from plying highways in the state. OKADA and tricycle operators are restricted to township routes. Mobile courts have been constituted to prosecute defaulters and offenders. In a communique issued in Lokoja, the ministry said the restriction order takes effect from Monday 17th January 2022. The restriction was part of far-reaching decisions made after extensive stakeholders meeting to address the issue of incessant accidents and the need for free flow of traffic on Kogi roads. The stakeholders meeting chaired by Baron Joseph Okwoli, the State Commissioner for Transportation, said the deliberation was in tandem with the policy of the ministry to strategize and map out plans and programs to ensure smooth operation by road users and safety of commuters. Represented by the Permanent Secretary Okeme Jibril, the Commissioner directed Tricycle Owners Association of Nigeria (TOAN) to submit the comprehensive list and biodata of all tricycle operators in the state to the ministry on or before February 4, 2022. Governor Samuel Ortom has approved 60 million naira compensation to families of security personnel who lost their life between 2017 to date while serving in the state. He made this known at the interdenominational church service to mark this year's Armed Forces Remembrance Day held at the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Boko Road, Makurdi. Governor Ortom stated that although the sacrifices on the fallen heroes could not be quantified in monetary terms, the gesture was the government's little way of expressing appreciation for their efforts. He explained that without the efforts of the security personnel, some of whom have lost their lives, Benue State will have long been overrun by bandits and herdsmen militia. Governor Ortom appealed to the people of the state to sustain prayers for the armed forces to surmount security challenges confronting the state and Nigeria at large. Chairman Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) Benue State Chapter, Reverend Apen Leva, expressed appreciation to the armed forces for their efforts to protect the people and assured that CAN would continue to pray for them. Pastor Folasayo Aderemi led by the congregation in intercessory prayers for the President Muhammadu Buhari, Governor Samuel Ortom, and other political leaders as well. The Lagos State government has said the deficit of over 521 million naira of the 2022 budget will be funded through 1 trillion naira targeted revenue. The Commissioner for Economic Planning and Budget, Sam Egube, made this known in Ikeja during a news briefing on the analysis of the year 2022 budget, tagged Budget of Consolidation. Egube said that the budget deficit would be funded by a combination of internal, external loans and bonds issuance. He said that the deficit funding requirement of 521.275 billion naira was at 21% of debt service to total revenue of the state. The report recalls that the proposed year 2022 appropriation bill of 1.388 trillion naira was presented by the state governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, to the Lagos State House of Assembly for consideration and assent on November 24, 2021. Also, an amended bill of 1.758 trillion naira was subsequently passed on December 29, 2021 by the State House of Assembly and was signed into law by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu on December 31, 2021. Egube said that the total budget size of 1.75 trillion naira would be funded from a total revenue estimate of 1.237 trillion naira. This comprises the total internally generated revenue of 980.654 billion naira, capital receipts of 142.743 billion naira, and federal transfer of 256.268 billion naira. Egube said that 73.5%, 599.04 billion naira of the projected TRGR is expected to be contributed by Lagos State Internal Revenue Service, LIRS, while about 19.2% is expected to be generated by other MDAs of government. Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi has expressed fresh concern over reported cases of physical assaults on some uniformed men in Ekiti. The government has also announced the completion of payment of compensations awarded to victims of the incidences of human rights violations and those affected by the violence that trailed the EndSARS protest. The Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Olawale Fapahunda, on behalf of the government of Ekiti State, tendered an unreserved apology to all victims of human rights violations in the state, as well as those affected by the violence that broke out during the EndSARS protest in the state. A statement made available to journalists in Ado Ekiti by Fapahunda hinted that the sum of 21,250,000 naira has been paid out. The payments, according to the Commissioner, cover the full amount awarded by the Ekiti State Judicial Panel of Inquiry on allegations of human rights violations by police officers, including officers of Special Anti-Robbery Squad SARS and other persons, EndSARS panel. The governor has, however, ordered full investigations into these cases with a view to ensuring that perpetrators are swiftly and effectively prosecuted to the fullest extent allowed under the state's laws. He further assured of the government's resolve to continue to strengthen the culture of good governance and respect for human rights in Ekiti State. Timely intervention by the operatives of the Agro Ranger Unit of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Kwara State Command prevented what would have resulted in a full-scale bloody clash between farmers and herders in Alapa community in Asa local government area of Kwara State. According to the spokesman of the NSCDC in the state, Babawale Zaid Afolabi, the Agro Ranger unit of the Corps gets a distress call from Alapa community and promptly deployed officers to the scene of the incident. He said, on Saturday, based on a distress call from Alapa community in Asa local government area of the state, our able commandant Makinde Ezekiel Ayla directed the immediate deployment of the operatives of the Agro Ranger unit in the location, and their timely arrival put the situation under control. He explained further that a farmer, Alaparo Tunde, and his two sons, Said Tunde and Taufik Tunde, from Alaparo village confronted a Fulani herder, Haruna Adamu, who was caught grazing on their cassava plantation with his cattle. The confrontation, he added, later resulted in a hot argument which resulted in a bloody fight between the farmers and the Fulani, where cutlasses and other dangerous weapons were freely used, adding that both the Fulani herder and the farmer's two sons were seriously injured and rushed to a nearby hospital where they are responding to treatment. The NSCDC spokesman added that security has been beefed up in the community while full-scale investigations are ongoing to unravel the immediate and remote causes of the incident, with a view to preventing any act of reprisal. His Royal Highness the Emir of Zazzau, Ahmed Nuhu Bomali, has reaffirmed his commitment to the provision of accessible and qualitative education in an affordable manner to the teeming Nigerian youth. Ahmed made the disclosure during the occasion of his investiture as the Chancellor and inauguration of the Governing Council of Capital City University held in Kano. According to the Emir, affordable and quality education will go a long way in curtailing problems bedeviling the country such as poverty, drug abuse, intolerance, among others. He described failure to coordinate and place education as a priority to larger segments of the society as a major catalyst hindering the development of the nation. The Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje said the state government had mapped out policies and programs aimed at uplifting the standard of education. Governor Ganduje, who was represented by his deputy Nasiru Yusuf Gauna, urged philanthropists and wealthy individuals to set up similar institutions to promote educational standard. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has denied claims that it has zoned its presidential ticket. This was contained in a statement by Debo Ologunaba, National Publicity Secretary of the party. He described it as completely misleading as it does not in any way represent the position of PDP. He said the party was founded on democratic principles, saying that every action of the party, including zoning, is based on extensive consultations, discussions, and consideration of all the issues as well as the various tendencies and interests across the nation. He said the party has the main objective of ensuring that the unity, peaceful coexistence, and development of the nation are reinforced and promoted. The PDP thanked Nigerians for their overwhelming interest in the party as their sure platform to rescue and rebuild our nation from misrule and urged them to remain united and focused as we join forces for the task ahead. Some members of the All Progressive Congress APC have called off their initial plan to protest against the party's caretaker Extraordinary National Convention Planning Committee. The group, under the auspices of the APC Core Supporters Network, had last week issued a threat to shut down the National Secretariat of the party over its interim leadership. But in a statement signed by its national president, Maxwell Gowon, the group said its members were misled, misinformed, and misguided by some disgruntled elements. Gowon said they know better now and have already apologized to Governor Maimala Buni led committee for almost being used by enemies of the APC to truncate the progress recorded. Speaking after its consultative meeting held in Abuja on the state of the party, the group alleged that they were initially carried away by some elders whom they thought meant well for the APC. He said they, however, made a U-turn after discovering that these so-called leaders were attempting to brainwash them into turning against progressives. The group therefore said it cannot allow itself to be used against the committee that has done so well to rescue the party from where these very so-called elders had taken the party. The All Progressive Congress APC has released a revised timetable and schedule of activities for the conduct of the 2022 governorship primary election in Ekiti State, in accordance with provisions of the Electoral Act 2010 as amended and Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) guidelines. This was stated in the party's official notice, which was issued by John James Apanido Edehe, the National Secretary of the APC Caretaker Extraordinary Convention Planning Committee. The Ekiti governorship election will be held on June 18, 2022, according to INEC. Revised schedule of activities. Last day for submission of completed forms and accompanying documents at APC National Secretariat on the 15th of January 2022. Screening of aspirants on January 18, 2022. Publication of claims and objections Thursday, 28th January 2022. Screening appeals 23rd of January 2022. Primary election 27th of January 2022. Election appeal 28th and 29th of January 2022. The price of the forms was set as 22.5 million naira by the party. The expression of interest form cost 2.5 million naira, while the nomination form cost 20 million naira. Female aspirants and physically challenged aspirants, on the other hand, must pay half of the prescribed fees. You're still watching Mlc TV. We will be back after the break. Stay with us.
Mlc TV Online is here. For your timely and reliable news that reaches you fast with the breaking news, choose Mlc TV. Get human interest stories right here on Mlc TV. With entertainment, sports, business, culture, tourism, and fashion news stories all featured on Mlc TV. Not forgetting political and current affairs news, state and federal government and people's matters will be discussed regularly on Mlc TV. Mlc TV, your one-stop online destination for unbiased, accurate news, entrepreneur ideas, and youth matters to the rest of the world. Mlc TV, reaching everywhere, informing everyone.
Welcome back. Police operatives attached to Intelligence Response Team (IRT) have arrested a woman who allegedly supplies young ladies to bandits for sexual pleasure at Galadimawa Forest in Giwa local government area of Kaduna State. It was gathered that the suspect, Mariam Abubakar, a housewife and resident of Rugahawa in Sabongeri local government, confessed that she had been luring women, including her own daughters and nieces, to the bandits for sexual pleasure. Mariam said her clients were paying her 20,000 naira for each girl and that the women were being ferried to the forest on motorbikes. The police also arrested another woman, Fatima Jibri, who in connivance with her boyfriend, Muslim Abubakar, both residents of the Sakadadi area in Sabongeri, had also been supplying women to the bandits. The syndicate was exposed when the girls they had earlier procured for the criminals in the forest could not return. Also, another woman, Jumai Ibrahim, was arrested on the suspicion that she had been engaging in an affair with the bandits' kingpin in the forest. Ibrahim said she submitted herself to the bandits' kingpin to protect her children and her father from their wrath, because the bandits threatened to kill them. Even after they had rustled the family's cattle, some of the women said they had passed the night only once in the forest with the bandits. A 76-year-old grandfather, Osagi Robert, has been arrested by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, in Edo State, where a suspected fake security agent, Godwin Ilebare, aka Edwin Abon, was also arrested for importing drug, chocolates, and cookies from Canada into Nigeria to sell. The septuagenarian, popularly called Old Soldier, was arrested in Ego, a rural area of the state, for dealing in cannabis, while Godwin was nabbed during a controlled delivery of a consignment shipped into Nigeria through a courier company. Soon after the suspect signed for the consignment, undercover operatives embedded in the courier firm arrested him at his apartment in Benin City. The consignment, which emanated from Canada, contains Colorado brand of cannabis concealed inside chocolates and cookies, weighing 6.491 kilograms, while the drug cookies and the chocolates weighed 5.566 kg and 0.383 kilogram, respectively. In a related development, a 48-year-old Ilodiba Augustine, a passenger of Ethiopian airline that arrived at Kano Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, via Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, was on New Year Eve arrested and placed on observation, during which he confessed to have swallowed 58 pellets of cocaine, out of which he excreted 48 pellets, which were delivered to a Kenyan while on transit in Addis Ababa for a fee of 1 million naira. He said he continued his journey to Nigeria with the remaining 10 pellets in his stomach, which, according to him, he intended to sell in Lagos. The wraps of cocaine were later excreted at 10:40 a.m. on New Year Day. The new year 2022 has started on a very tragic note for a resident of Lafia, Nasarawa state capital. Ovie Yakubu has landed himself in police net over uncontrolled anger that prompted killing of his wife with a sledgehammer. Yakubu is already in police cell for hacking to death his own spouse, Esther, over simple arguments on who to fix their window mosquitoes net. The police public relations officer of the state command, Rahman Nansel, confirmed the incident in Lafia, explaining that the tragic event happened in Sabon Pegi Shabu, a suburb of Lafia, the state capital. Namsel added that the suspect was arrested following the receipt of the report of the incident by the police. He indicated that investigation had commenced to unravel the cause of the incident, while the remains of Esther had been deposited at the morgue, awaiting post-mortem examination. Family sources, on the other hand, said the suspect took the life of his wife following an argument over the engagement of a carpenter by the deceased to fix nets over their window. Yakubu was alleged to have vehemently opposed the wife, who will not budge, as she insisted on having the final say, hence the violent quarrel that ensued between them, during which the husband was said to have hit Esther with a hammer, a development that led to her death. Now on our foreign news. West Africa's main regional bloc will close borders with Mali and impose sweeping economic sanctions in response to delays holding promised elections after a 2020 military coup, the president of the bloc's commission said on Sunday. The announcement followed an extraordinary summit of the leaders of the 15-member Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, in Ghana's capital, Accra. The list of tough new sanctions were a sign of the significant hardening of the bloc's stance on Mali, whose interim authorities have proposed holding elections in December 2025 instead of this February as originally agreed. In a communique issued after an emergency summit, ECOWAS said it found the proposed timetable for a transition back to constitutional rule totally unacceptable. The 15-member bloc said it had agreed to impose additional sanctions with immediate effect. These included the closure of members' land and air borders with Mali, the suspension of non-essential financial transactions, and the freezing of Malian state assets in ECOWAS commercial banks and by the Central Bank of the 8-nation West African CFA franc zone. At least 21 people have died after heavy snow trapped them in their vehicles in northern Pakistan. As many as 1,000 vehicles became stranded as Old Bay tourists reportedly rushed to view the winter snowfall in the hilltop town of Muri. A policeman, his wife and their 6 children, as well as another family of 5, are among the dead, according to local emergency services rescue 1122. The military says it has rescued more than 300 people stranded by the snow. An army spokesperson added that military engineers and troops had also started to clear roads leading to Muri. Interior Minister Sheikh Rashid said the crisis had been caused by the number of people traveling to the area, north of the capital, Islamabad. More than 100,000 cars had arrived in the colonial-era town in recent days, with social media in Pakistan flooded with pictures of people enjoying the snow. Among those who perished were 10 children, according to emergency services. Police said at least 6 had frozen to death in their cars. Asphyxiation after inhaling fumes has been given as a possible reason for the others. The Sudanese crisis erupted in the wake of the October 25th coup and fueled protests in which 60 people have a united mission on Saturday announced the official launch of a reformed program meant to sustain the country's journey to be a full democracy. The program aims at supporting Sudanese stakeholders to reach an agreement, emerge from the current political crisis, and agree on a sustainable path of progress towards democracy and peace, said Volker Perez, the head of the United Nations Integrated Transition Assistance Mission to Sudan, and Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General Hamdok, was released nearly a month later after agreeing to form a new government. He resigned last Sunday after failing to do so, following weeks of protests. The official said he is worried that the current political impasse may slide the country further into instability and squander the important political, social, and economic gains made since the revolution. The United Nations Secretary Council has also scheduled to hold an informal meeting on Wednesday to discuss the latest developments in Sudan. The head of the Transitional Sovereign Council in Sudan, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, received a phone call from United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, in which he affirmed the commitment of the international organization to support the country during the transition period until it holds its election. And now in the sports news, let us join Jonah Malik for update.
Liverpool and Man City will welcome championship out with Cardiff City and Fulham respectively, while Chelsea will host Plymouth Argyle, currently 6th in League One. Kidderminster, fresh from knocking out Reading in the third round, will welcome West Ham. Bournemouth, the only other non-league side left in the competition, will host Bournemouth. Meanwhile, Cambridge United reward for knocking out Newcastle is a home tie against Luton Town. The FA Cup fourth round is scheduled to be played over the weekend between Friday, February 4th and Monday, February 7th. Chelsea's goalkeeper Edward Mendy has tested positive for COVID-19 and will miss Senegal's opening game of the African Cup of Nations against Zimbabwe on Monday. As reported by Sky Sports, Senegal are already without Napoli defender Kalidou Koulibaly and Alliance Sports striker Famara Diédhiou because of COVID-19. In addition, Saliou Ciss, Bamba Dieng, Mame Baba Thiam, Pape Matar, Alfred Gomis, and Leicester City Namsplay Mendy had to remain in the Senegal ahead of the game after testing positive. Gomis is Senegal's second-choice goalkeeper, so it seems likely that they will have to call upon third-choice shortstopper Seny Dieng of QPR. Senegal's boss Aliou Cissé described the situation as difficult and complicated, but we are going to be competitive and those that are going to play for those who are absent. We are still going into the game against Zimbabwe full of confidence. The absence of Mendy, who has 16 caps for his country, is a major blow for Senegal, but they will still be determined to get the better of Zimbabwe. Guinea and Malawi are also in the Senegal group at the tournament. 2021 AFCON kicked off on Sunday in Cameroon. Host Cameroon defeated Burkina Faso by 2-1 in the opening match of the tournament. In second match of the day, Ethiopia lost 1-0 to Cape Verde. The tournament continued with matches in Group B and Group C on Monday. Senegal versus Zimbabwe, Guinea versus Malawi, Morocco versus Ghana, Comoros versus Gabon. Defending Australian Open champion Naomi Osaka has withdrawn from her semi-final match at the WTA tournament in Melbourne with an abdominal injury, allowing her opponent Veronika Kudametova to advance to the final on walkover. I had a lot of fun playing here in Melbourne. Unfortunately, I have an abdominal injury which I need to rest for and prepare for the Australian Open, Osaka said in a statement issued by Tennis Australia. The Australian Open begins on January 17th. In a follow-up tweet later Saturday, Osaka said that her body got a shock from playing back-to-back intense matches after the break I took, but added that she will try to rest up and we'll see her fans soon. And that's sports update on Mlc TV. I am Malik Jonah.
Thank you, Jonah. Suleiman Adeola, the chairman of Senate Committee on Finance, has expressed shock and sadness over the demise of His Royal Majesty Oba Abdulateef Adediran Akanni, the Olofi Adimola Odua of Ado Odo and the King of Ado Kingdom. In a statement signed by the Senator's Chief of Staff and Media Advisor, the Senator said the passing of the monarch is a great loss not only to his immediate family and kingdom, but the people of Ogun West Senatorial District and the Ogun State as a whole. The Senator prayed for the peaceful repose of the soul of the departed monarch and the fortitude for his immediate family and other bereaved relatives to bear the irreparable loss. Chairman and the Chief Executive Officer of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Mohammed Buba Marwa, has lost his first wife, Zainab Marwa. A statement by the family said Zainab Marwa died in the early hours of the day at the age of 66 after a brief illness. The deceased is survived by 4 children, Abubakar Muhammad Jr., Miriam and Zainab, and 10 grandchildren, and her husband as well as her siblings and aged mother. During her lifetime, she championed the cause of women and the girl child. And that is our package today. Join us tomorrow, same time, via this channel. For your daily news, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Mlc TV, Facebook, Mlc TV, Instagram, Mlc TV 2021, and Twitter at Mlc TV. For your advert placement and sponsorship, please call any of the number displayed on your screen. I'm Khadijat Mohammed. Thanks for staying with us.